Good morning, sir.
Right. Good morning, all. Hari. Today we are going to start the free seminar for English medium mathematics graph lesson. Hari. I put a poll to the group, right? මම poll එකක් දැම්මා මේ අපේ අනිත් group එකට. So they have voted more to do the lesson graphs, right? Then some of you guys have voted like probability as the second one, and then scientific notation and right. So that lesson will be the third one. So I will try to do another 1 or 2 seminars before the starting of December month. So however, I want you to understand and want you to master the concept of graph today. Other you guys need to practice, right? The concept that you need to gain full marks, right, in your exam, right? So I think right, definitely you must do the graphs question, right? I mean, if there is a graph question in your essay paper, essay question paper, you should do it, right? Or you must do it, right? In your exam as well, O-level exam as well, you will be having a full question from graphs, right? So it would be sometimes advanced than this, right? But this is the basic steps that you need to know. Right. Okay. So let's begin. Right. I hope you have got the paper with you, right? It would be better if you can have, right? It would be better if you can have. So if you do not have the paper, ඔයාලගේ අක්කා හෝ මල්ලි හෝ අයියා හෝ හරි තාත්තා හෝ හරි අම්මා හරි ළඟම කඩේට ගිහලා පොඩ්ඩක් අරන් එන්න කියන්නේ තව පැයක් සමහරක් ගියාට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ හරි. So that you could see it, right? So I was not hoping to give a paper, right, tube, right? But I want you to write each and everything by your hand in your book. හරිද? පොතේ ඔක්කොම ටික ලියව ගන්නයි මට ඕන උනේ. But I thought it would be better, right, if I can give a tube. Because we can do lot more work. අපිට ගොඩක් වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Right. So guys, if you can, right, it would be better if you can have a printout of that. හරිද? මම ඔක හදලා ඉද්දි පාන්දර 2යි කාලයට විතරයි. 2යි 13ට විතරයි. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ තමයි මම දැම්මේ. හරි? So I am seeing some old friends also. හරි? Right. Okay. Okay. අපි මුලින්ම I will share my screen. Right. Okay. Right. So this is the tube that I have given to you. Right? You can scan the QR code and you can go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Right? So the first thing, right? So let us do some examples from your grade 8 and refresh our knowledge. Right? Yes. Shall we do this? Right? Take your book. Right? Take your book and try to do the question number 1. So you know what is the coordinate plane, right? With the x and y axis, right? And mark from -5 to +5, and mark the points -4, -4, right? And B 4, -4 only, right? Mark the point C and D such that ABCD it's a square and write the coordinates of C and D, right? Then second one, write the equation of each side of the plane figure A, B, C, D, right? This one is a very easy one. I will give you like 2 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing. So now my first question, right? It is from your textbook, right? If you have your textbook with you, right, you can do this. Do it, right? So review exercise. First one. Draw a coordinate plane with the x and y axis marked from -5 to +5, right? And mark position points A -4, -4 and B +4, -4 only. So first of all, right? The thing that you need to know is, right? There are two axes. Right? Two axes like this. All right. Then the main point that you need to know is when you are drawing a coordinate plane is, right? So there are two axes, a vertical one and a horizontal one, and those two axes, right? You know, right? If you take this horizontal axis, right? Horizontal axis alone, you know this is called a number line, right? And also this the vertical line alone is called another number line. So the coordinate plane has been formed, right? The coordinate plane has been created or built by using two number lines, right? And they are perpendicularly intersect each other at the 0 point, right? So that 0 point is called what we call that 0 point, right? Middle point, right? It is called origin, right? So you guys better if you cannot remember, right? You guys better mark it, right? Mark karagana. This is called origin, right? Origin. This is not related to the question that I am going to do, but I want you to understand the key points of a coordinate plane. This is called origin, and the coordinates are 0, right? So y coordinate is 0, sorry, x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is 0. Right? So no need to mention that here, but it would be better if you can mention here 0. Right? When you are drawing a coordinate plane, it would be better if you can mention 0 here. Right. Then this is the horizontal axis, horizontal one. So you definitely need to mark at the end x, right? And also, right, this arrowhead is needed or not? Anivaryen ඕනද this arrowhead? Definitely you should, yeah. This arrowhead must be there, right? This arrowhead must be there. මෙතන තියෙන්න ඕන, right? This is a must have, right? So, and you need to mention that this is our x axis, right? X, right? Otherwise you will get wrong, right? And also this vertical axis is also y, but most of you guys do not know that, right? India, like if you go for your higher studies, right, in the campus, right, university, you might lose marks if you do not mention x and y. You might lose mark because this whole coordinate plane is wrong if you do not mark these points. And arrowheads should be there, right? Must be there, right? Otherwise it is not a coordinate plane. අපි ඒකට coordinate plane එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක තිබ්බේ නැත්තම් මේක. හරිද? Right. Okay. Now right? Okay. So we have to mark our x-axis and y-axis, right? By using the values -5 to +5, right? So right. So I will mark, right, by using same space, right, to my right hand side of the x-axis, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And to my left hand side of the x-axis, right? 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5, right? This side is positive and this side is negative, right? Right. In the beginning of the few, like 1 to 2 hours, I will do it very slowly, yeah, Alright, so that you can understand the concepts. Alright, then let's go with the speed. Okay, guys. So I will clear this origin. I will clear this one. So if you want, you can mark it because it is for your knowledge. So here you have 0. The intersection points of two axes, right? Okay. Now, likewise, I have to mark for the vertical axis as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And below, same length, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Right. Okay. Now I have marked the points as well. Right. Right. Now we have to mark point A, which is -4, -4. Right. So when you have an ordered pair, right? When you have an ordered pair, it is something like this. So this is my point A, right? This is the ordered pair of point A, right? What is called ordered pair? What ordered pair here? Right? We have the x coordinate here and the y coordinate here, right? So that is called an ordered pair, right? So for your knowledge, right, if you cannot remember, right, it would be better you can if you can write this separately. Right? So this is called the x coordinate. This is called the y coordinate. Why are we having two coordinates from x and y, right, along x axis and y axis? So by using the x axis you need to find -4, and by using the y axis you need to find -4, right? And you draw, right? And you draw two lines, right, for x axis -4 and for y axis -4, right? And you are going to extend them until they cross each other, right? You are going to extend these two lines until they cross each other, intersect each other, so that you can find the point A, right? So that you can find the point A. Right. So from x-axis -4. This is my x-axis. Where is my -4? Here, right? Here is my -4, right? From y-axis -4. Where is my y-axis? This is the positive side and this is the negative side. Where is my -4? Here, right? All the way of -4, right? I am going to draw two lines, right? I am going to draw it by using my mind. To this side and to this side. Somewhere around here you can find the point A. Right? -4, -4. Okay. By using the same way, you can mark, right? 4 comma minus 4, which is my B. Four comma minus 4, which is my B. So from x-axis 4, right? X-axis 4, y-axis minus 4, right? X-axis positive 4, y-axis minus 4. Somewhere around here. Huh? Right. Okay. So this is my B. Everything. Now we have marked it and they are asking from mass. Right? They are asking from mass. They are asking from mass. Mark the points C and D such that ABCD is a square, right? And write the coordinates of C and D, right? Now the ළඟදී කියන්නේ දැන් චුට්ටට කලින් කට්ටිය join කරලා තියෙනවා නේද? හරි. Okay. Okay guys. So this is my point A and this is my point B. We have to make a square by using these 2 points, right? So, and we have to fill the point C and D as well, right? So you know, so first of all I will join these A and B. Right, I will join these A and B. So if you want to make a, right, if you want to prepare, right, if you want to prepare a square, what you need to do, right? So you need to have this length, right? How many points are there, right? To the left hand side until you meet A, right? And to the right hand side until you meet B from the y-axis. So this side there are 4 points, right? 4 points. And to this side, right, you have 4 points. Actually 4 units and 4 units. Totally you have 8 units long straight line. So you need to make a square. You need to make a square. So for this side also you have 4 units, right? And to this side also you need to have 4 units as well, right? In another words, right, you need to take the mirror image of this. You need to take the mirror image of this, right? If you place a glass here, if you place a mirror here, right, exactly on top of the x-axis, right, exactly on top of the x-axis, if you place a mirror, right, then you can have the mirror image of this, right? So symmetricity should be there if you are building a what we call a square, right? So here to here 4 units, so here to here definitely 4 units, and here to here 4 units, and here to here definitely 4 units. Same thing, 4 units, 4 units. Alright. Okay. So mirror image of this 4 minus 4, right? X and y. Point B is here you can have x and y. Right? So this side I will mark A, B, C. So it should be somewhere around here. 4, positive 4, positive 4. Right? C. And mirror image of this 4 units, 4 units. So the 4 units to the top, right? Horizontally 4 units, somewhere around here. So it is something like this. So you have to draw your square, right? Right. Okay, now they are asking. They are asking, write the coordinates of C and D, right? So your B is 4 minus 4. So you already know your A is x-axis minus 4, y-axis minus 4. Right? So C, right? Positive 4, positive 4. Right. So here positive 4 from x-axis. Don't forget this one. You need to mention this is x. Correct? I mean from the x-axis you need to first write the coordinate, then comma, then y coordinate point is 4, positive 4, positive 4, positive 4. When it comes to here, x-axis is this minus 4, comma, positive 4. Right, good. Okay, then write the equation of each side of the plane figure ABCD. So now you have a plane figure ABCD. Right? So how you are going to write the equation of, right, each and every side? There are 4 sides, right? For a square, AB is one side, BC and CD and AD, right? So how you are going to write the coordinates, right? Okay, it is very easy, right? So the right, when you are doing this, so the concept behind this is, right, so you will learn it, right, you will learn it when you go to like another 2 hours, right? I will teach you this one. So this is the basic function of a graph line. I mean, for a straight line, this is the basic function. Then when it is an horizontal line, right, when it is an horizontal line, this m becomes 0. That means this m is the gradient, right? You know that gradient becomes 0, right? So then you can have the, if the gradient is 0, you can have the equation of AB, right? Equation of AB, right? So it would become y equals, here the gradient becomes 0, so that this whole term becomes 0, right? So the only thing that remaining is C, point C. What is called point C in another word? You know, intercept. So AB line intercept minus 4. So that AB's equation will be y equals minus 4. There is a pattern. I will teach you. Now focus on the board. Pattern at once you can understand. So y equals minus 4. So Pudha, we can write the equation of AB, right? Equation of AB like this. Y equals minus 4. Y equals minus 4. So this is the logic behind that. May logic ki all on right? Them on in your grade 10 you will get. Y equals minus 4. So make a pattern into the when would we get, right? When would we get y equals? When would we get x equals? Right? Right. Mara Prashni, right? So the Megana, here you have an straight line AB. That straight line is crossing which axis? Right? Mona axis se cross kara, intersect kara. So this is my y axis, ne? So that you have to say y equals something, right? Y equals some point. It would be a whole number or a decimal place, right? So sometimes if this goes through 4.5, right? Between 4 and 5, right? So you have to say y equals minus 4.5 as the equation of this, right? Okay, so that is the concept that you need to understand. This AB line is crossing the y-axis, right? The point crossing is intersecting is minus 4, right? So that you can write y equals minus 4 as the equation of this. And for this one, y equals 4. And same thing applies to the vertical line as well, right? BC line crossing x-axis. So you can write x equals something. Something means our point that we are going to intersect this x-axis, which is our 4, positive 4. Right? Right. Then here you have the same thing. AD, it goes through -4, right? This line process, right? This line process x-axis. So Huda, you can write x equals -4, right? So these are the four equations that you can write. First one is this, the next one is this one, right? Next one is this, and next one is this. Are it right? It does. Right. Okay. So we have done the preview exercise first question. Right? Okay. Right. Now I am going to share the screen again. Right. So let's do. Right. Here. Shall we do this one? Preview exercise. Question number 2. Right. Preview exercise. Question number 2. Give it a try. I will give you like 2 minutes. Do this one. Right. So here what you have is, right, draw a coordinate plane with the x and y axis marked from -4 to +4, right? So this has been marked up to -5. So I keep as it is, right? It would be better if you have something like this, right? If they are saying, right, if they are giving you a range, right, -4 to +4, it would be better if you can keep another extra point than that point. එතකොට your graph will be beautiful. හරිද? පොඩ්ඩක් ලස්සනක් එයි. හරි? So you know how to draw this, right? I am not going to explain that part again and again. Huh? Right. Now, first start. Draw two straight lines, right? One parallel to the x-axis, right? And the other one parallel to the y-axis, passing through the point 4 minus 4, right? Where is my 4 minus 4 point? Right? So from x-axis, +4, right? Y-axis -4, here. So මෙතන තමයි intersection point, right? So somewhere around here, right? So this is my point 4 minus 4, right? 4 minus 4. Then they are saying in the first question, draw two straight lines which are parallel to x and y axis, right? Respectively, right? So which passes through this point, right? So x-axis is this. The parallel line should be somewhere around here, right? Which crosses the -4. And it should pass through that point, right? And also the other one, you have to draw to the parallel to the y-axis, and it should go through this point as well, right? Go through this point, right? Then draw another two straight line, one parallel to the x-axis and the other parallel to the y-axis, right? Passing through the point -3, -2. -3. Where can you find -3? R. From x-axis minus 3, comma to R. Y-axis 2, right? Here. So this is my point, right? And you have to repeat the same steps again, right? Parallel to the x-axis, it should go to this point, right? So it is something like this. Parallel to y-axis and it goes through this axis. Right. Okay, I have done that. The first one and the second one. Write the coordinates of the 2 points and feature the lines in 1 and 2 above intersect each other. Right. So, Huda, you know. So they have given this point, which is 4 minus 4. And they have given this point as well, right? Minus 3, comma positive 2. Right. Then this one, right? So you need to write x coordinate, comma, then y coordinate. Right? So here x coordinate is 4, y coordinate is 2, 4 comma 2. Right? Here x coordinate is minus 3, y coordinate is minus 4. Right? So that's all. Right? Then write the equations of axis of symmetry, right, of the plane figure obtained in point 3. Interesting, right? So how do we find the symmetrical axis of this one and this one? Right? This is a rectangle. There are two symmetrical axes for a rectangle. Right? This is not a square. Right? And for that you need to count the points, right? So to the upside you have 2 points and below side you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 points, right? So altogether 4 plus 2, 6, ne? 6 divided by 2 means 3. So we have to divide this side by 2 exactly, equal to parts, horizontally and vertically, right? Horizontally and vertically we have to divide this rectangle into equal 2 parts, 2 parts. Right. So I am going to divide it horizontally. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. So the symmetrical point is this. Symmetrical axis is this in a horizontal way. Right. And also the other way around, when we consider the vertical way, right? How many points are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nah? There are 7. 7 divided by 2, 3.5, right? 7 divided by 2, 3.5. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 is somewhere around here. Right? So in other way, let's count 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Here. Right? So it should be somewhere around here. Right? The symmetrical axis goes through between 0 and 1. Between 0 and positive 1 on x-axis. Alright. Can you remember earlier I said, right? Can you remember earlier I said, right? The axis can be a decimal point as well, right? Equation of an axis can be a decimal point as well. Okay. Right? Now, this is a red line, right? So this passes through x value is 0.5. Right? Or you can refer not 0.5 but half. Right? When you are using the language of graph language, you are not going to mention decimal points. You are not going to mention decimal points, but you are going to use fractions. Right? 0.5 means half. Yeah. Right? So you can write down the equation of this as I told you earlier. Right? So this axis, this symmetrical axis crosses which line? X line. So this should be x equal something. X equal which? Positive half. Right? And same, this axis pass through -1 and this symmetrical axis crosses through the -1 of y axis. Right? So the equation of this y equals -1. Right? I was hearing someone is in. Can you mute? Right. Right. Okay. Hope you have done. Okay, Buddha? Right. Now these are very basic things. Okay. Now let's move to the next part. Guys, do you have any questions from that? Mega me patta lazy yaar. ඒ ටික පට්ටම lazy. මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Any unclear point? Any unclear point?
No, sir.
Okay. Right. So now let's move to the next part. Functions. Now we are going to begin the syllabus of grade 9. Alright. So now these are the important part, right? Important points that you need to remember for your exam. Right? What you need to do is, what I want you to do is, don't try to focus on the third term exam only, right? I am teaching you these things for your O-level last year. O-level last year. And I will give you some more points which are very important. Earlier I said in graph language it would be better if you can use fraction scale. But when it comes to the statistics language, stat සංඛ්‍යානේ කියලා ඔයාලට තියෙනවා in grade 10 you will get a lesson called සංඛ්‍යානේ, right? It is the next version of the data representation and interpretation, right? The next version of the data representation and interpretation, it would become the සංඛ්‍යානේ, right? Statistics. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ statistics කියලා එන්නේ අර විදිහටම තමයි එන්නේ. හරිද? දත්ත නිරූපණය සහ අර්ථකථනය. හරි? ඒකෙදී when we are writing down like now we are learning linear functions. හරි? රේඛීය functions තමයි අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි? රේඛීය function කියන්නේ රේඛීය ශිත. හරි? රේඛීය ශිත. But when you are going to the advanced levels, right? You will be making like quadratic equations, right? So on and so forth. හරිද? එතකොට ඒ වගේදී පොඩ වෙනස් වෙනවා මේ. හරි? එතකොට you will not be able to use fractions in a statistics. So you have to write down y squared equals 0 point time x squared plus 2x plus 8. So that is a function, right? As 0.5 x squared, right, equals minus y squared equals 0.222 equals 0. So that is one of the another equation. So on and so forth. Right. So functions. Next subtitle, function. Now this is the main thing that you need to understand. First of all, we are going to identify a function called y equals mx. Sorry, but I have given you a example in the tube. Sorry. For an instance, let us take y equals 10x as our function, right? Okay. So now write down. If you have the tube with you, it doesn't matter. So you can refer the tube, right? Let us take y equals 10x as our function. As our function. So let's identify what are the terms inside the function, right? So this is the basic function that you are meeting first, right? In grade 9, right? And in grade 8 also, you know y equals type uh, mx type functions graph, right? So this is some kind of that y equals mx, right? Later we go those things, right? So now look at the board, right? Y equals 10x. Y equals 10x, right? So we call this y a special name, and we call this x a special name, right? And also this 10 a special name, right? You already know those things. All of දැනටම ඒ විදිය දන්නවා. You already know. Right? Now, Buddha, I will give a reminder to you again. Right? It would be better if you can get a printout of the tutor. Tutor printout එකක් ගන්න තියෙනවා නම් හොඳයි. හරිද? දවල් එනකොට හරි ගන්න. හරි? Right, okay. Y equals 10x. හරි? So basically, we are going to tell this variable. This is a variable. This variable is called, right, dependent variable. Dependent variable. Right? Dependent variable. මේවා සැරේ change වෙනවනේ, right? There is no fixed value for this value, this variable. So we call dependent variable. Dependent. What is called dependent? යැපෙන්නනේ, like you, right? In your family, dependent is someone is like you. ඔයා යැපෙනවා, right? Under your father and mother, right? So this y, right, depend on what? Depend on what? මොකක් මතද යැපෙන්නේ? This y depend on x. This y depend on x. So that is why we are telling this y is the dependent variable, right? යැපෙන්න. Dependent variable. Right? So if this is the dependent variable, what would be the x? ඌ තියමුණු තරිද? ඌ තියමුණු තරිද? ඈ? මූ dependent නා. X should be independent. Right? නිදහස් කෙනෙක්. Independent. හරි ස්වායත්ත කියලා කියන්නේ. හරි මොකෙක් වුණත් යැපෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right. So here, and also we call this 10 as a special name. It is called gradient, but we can introduce this 10 as the coefficient of x, right? As the coefficient of x. Sorry. Normally we are telling this 10 as a constant value, and that constant value is called the coefficient of x, and that constant value and this coefficient of x is called another name, special name, which is gradient. Gradient, right? So let's write this is the constant value, or we can say in another word, coefficient of x, coefficient of x, right? Or in another word, you know that the gradient, right? So gradient. And this 10 is a constant value and it is called the coefficient of x. Correct? And it is called the gradient in another word. Right? Right. So now I am asking, what is the index of this x? What is the power? What is the power of that x? What the power? Can anyone tell me? Or you can send me the message.
X to the power 1.
Yeah, super.
1.
Right? Yeah, x to the power 1. So the index of this x is 1, right? Index of this x is 1, right? So I will write it like this. I will write it somewhere here, right? So this is my index of this x. So I will write this as my index. Index of x, right? Index of x. So it is 1, right? So you need to understand that, right? Since because of the index of x is 1, right? We call this kind of equations or this kind of functions, right, as linear functions, right? So that is an important point that you need to remember, right? In y equals 10x function, right? Index of the term x is 1, right? In y equals 10x function, index of the term x is 1, right? So that is mentioned there, right? So Buddha, since we can write since the index of the term x is 1, right? This function is called, right? This function is called therefore this function is called a linear function, right? Right? This function is called a linear function. Right? Please write this down. And if you have the tutor with you, you can fill the blanks. Right? Since the index of the term x is 1, this function is called a linear function. A linear function. Right? Please write this down. Uday, if you have right water with you, it would be better if you drink some water time to time. මම හැමදාම class එකෙත් කියනවා. It will help you to be refreshed. Right? Right. Okay. Now, Buddha, in the below, I have asked what is an ordered pair. I told you guys it earlier. I'm a Q. Right. Hope you have finished this. Make it.
Yeah.
Okay, super. What about others? Do you need more time to write? Okay. Okay. Hope you have finished writing. හරි පුතා right. Right. ඕගොල්ලන්ට මම මොන හරි එවම් පුතේ මේ I am expecting some answers from you. Or you can put a reaction as well. හරිද? Yes or no. I need more time. Right. D4 done. Blah blah blah. හරි? Right. Okay. So now let's go to the next part. I need your support to complete this. හරිද? Right. Okay. Right. So you know this now. Right. What is an ordered pair? What is ordered pair කියලා? මම පුතා recording එකේම දාන්නයි group එකේ. හරි? So you guys can cover here. Or if you do not want this, you can leave. හරි? recording එකේම දාන්න එක group එකක. හරි? Sometimes you might have challenges, right? In staying, right? ඔයාලට සමහරට ගමනක් යන්න තියෙනවා කොහේ හරි. හරි? So එහෙම ඒවා තියෙනවා. හරිද? එතකොට ඒවා අම්මලත් එක්ක යන්න පුළුවන්. So මේ the guys who are staying, right? I'll give the recording. හරි? අනිත් අයට දාන්නේ නැහැ. හරි? දන්සලක් කිව්වට එහෙම දෙන්න බෑ හරි. හරි? මම recording එක කොහොමද group එකට දාන්නේ. So guys you guys can cover through it here. හරි? අර sub participate වෙන්නේ නැති කට්ටියට කොහොමද දෙන්නේ නැහැ මම. හරි? හරි. What is an ordered pair? What is ordered pair? So what is an ordered pair? What is an ordered pair? What is ordered pair here? You know that, right? All know, right? In your grade 8, you know, right? So very basically, pair means there should be some two things. Sorry, there should be some 2 points. Pair, there should be a couple. Couple එකක් ඉන්න ඕනේ. Right? ඒක ordered කරලා දී. It is in an ordered manner. That is why we said ordered pair. How do we order that? කොහොමද අපි ඒක order කරන්නේ? First of all, you need to mention the x coordinate and then comma, then y coordinate. Right? So, first of all, you need to write x coordinate. Comma, then you need to write y coordinate. So, very basically, you need to first write x, then y. Right? So, we have done this early. Right? For the knowledge of yours, I have given this. ඔයාලගේ දැනුම සඳහා තමයි මම මේක දීලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? I have discussed this again. Right? What is an ordered pair? Ordered pair is x coordinate, comma y coordinate. Right? So, x basically x comma y. Right? Please write this. Right. Right. So let's move to the next one. Page number 2. Right. Page number 2. Let us calculate the corresponding y values when x values are given and write both x and y values as ordered pairs. Right. So first of all, I have given the same function, right, as y equals 10x. So shall I write it? Page number 2. The title is calculate the corresponding y values when x values are given. Given and write both and write ordered pairs. Right. Ordered pairs. And write ordered pairs. So this is the thing that we are going to do. Right. So first of all, Buddha, we have y equals 10x function. Y equals 10x function. Right. And the x values has been given. Right. X values have been given like when we have -2, -1, 0, 1, comma 2. Right. So Buddha, I am going to draw a table, right? So the table has been given as well. The first column is x value, then you have 10x, then you have y, then you have ordered pair. Right, then you have ordered pair. Right. Right. The guys who do not have the tube with you, please draw this one. Taggal again. Right. So Buddha, my x values are -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Right? -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So now I am going to calculate 10x. 10x means, right, 10 into x, right? 10 into x. Right? This 10x equals to y, right? So this value, if you calculate this value, it is equal to this, right? Y equals 10x in simple language. Sarla bhasha y equals 10x. So 10 times x. So we have to multiply this value by 10. So the method, right? I am going to do this one. 10 multiply -2. Right? So positive into negative, negative 10 times 2, 20. මම sign conversion එක උගන්නන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. So I am focusing on the lesson this, right, graphs. So likewise, this can be written down as 10 into -1, which is -10. Actually, no need to write this. If you can obtain the correct value by using your mind or your hitala, if you can give the answer here, perfect. No need to write 10 times -2, blah blah blah. Right? 10 times 0, 0. 10 times 1, 10. 10 times 2, 20. Right? අයියෝ මේක මොකදනේ පට්ට ඉසිනේ පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්නකෝ චුට්ට ඉස්සරහට යන්න. හරි එතකොට තමයි කට්ටිය දඩ බඩ ගාලා වර්ධි. හරි right? Okay, now so this value is equal to y නේ. Y equals 10x නේ. So Buddha, you have to write this 20 -10, 0, 10, and 20. So how do you write the ordered pair? Ordered pair is called x comma y. X comma y. Right? So x value is here, y value is here. So -2, -20. This one -1, -10. This one 0, 0. Right? Then 1, 10. X value is 1, y value is 10. X value is 2, Y value is 20. Another right. Okay. Fill this. Right. When you finish writing, please let me know. Right. You guys have done it. Super. Yeah. Right. Okay, great. Right. So I am going to share screen. So do it na. Tanggal kan? Right. Okay, do the rest. Do the second one. Do the third one.
Sir, are you doing every papers?
Okay. Right. Now I will discuss y equals minus 3x and y equals minus 2x plus 5. Right. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Right. I'll clear board. So the we have in the second case y equals minus 3x. What is it? X values has been given minus 1, right? Then minus 1 upon 3, right? Positive 1 upon 3 and positive 1. These are my values. Right? So x values I will write here minus 1 upon 3, 0, positive 1 upon 3, positive 1. Then my equation is minus 3 into x. Sorry, minus 3 into x. So we need to multiply x values by minus 3. Right? We need to multiply x values by minus 3. Minus 3 into minus 1. Minus 3 into minus 1 upon 3. Right? Here, same thing. You have to follow. Right? Here, minus 3 into 0. Minus 3 into 1 upon 3. Minus 3 into 1. Right? So you have to fill the values. Right? Now, I will do this fast. Minus into minus, positive 3 times 1, 3. Minus into minus, positive 3. So you can simplify 3 times 1, 3 times 1. So your answer is positive 1. Minus 3 into 0, 0. This one, minus into positive, minus 3 times 1, 3 times 1. Then the value is minus 1. Here minus 3. Right? So same value is equal to this one. As y, you can represent the same value 3, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 3. Right. So how do you write ordered pair? X comma y, right? Minus 1 comma 1, 3. So the parenthesis is necessary. මේ වරහන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔයාට ordered pair ලියනවනම් නිකන් ඔහේ දඩස් ගාලා අතහැරලා ඉන්න බෑ. You have to use parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you can write down the ordered pair. definitely you should have that minus 1 upon 3 1, right? Then 0 comma 0, then you have 1 upon 3 comma minus 1 1 comma minus 3, right? So this is it. If you have anything wrong, you can fill it up. Right, next one. Y equals minus 2x plus 5. Minus 2x plus 5. So values are minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2, 4. Right. So I will write them here. Here minus 4, minus 2, 0, and here you have 2 and 4. And 4. Right. So methana. Here you have minus 2 into x plus 5. So there is a whole lot of operations. So where you have x, you have to substitute minus 4. Minus 2 into minus 4. Right? So these are negative values. Plus 5. Right? Minus 2 into minus 2 plus 5. Right? Minus 2 into 0 plus 5. Right? Minus 2 into 2 plus 1. Minus 2 into 4 plus 5. Right? So minus into minus, positive 2 times 4, 8, 8 plus 5, 13. Right? Minus into minus, positive 2 times 2, 4, 4 plus 5, 9. Here 0, the value is 5. Here minus 4 plus 5. Minus 4 plus 5. Directed numbers 1. Minus 2 into positive 4. Minus 8. Minus 8 plus 5. Minus 3. May directed numbers. Don't mess this up. Right? Still you guys do not know how to add or subtract two directed numbers. Right? මෙන්න මේ සෙට් එක මෙතන මේ දෙක ලොවෙත් තරදීලා ඇති ගඩ සමහර අය. හරිද? Okay. Right? I think you people do not have get the basic knowledge about the directed numbers. කොහොමද කරන්නේ? පට්ට easy lesson එකක් තියෙන. අන්න මම channel එකෙත් දාලා ඇති. හරි? කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා? හරිද? ඒක නම් දාලා තියෙන්නේ grade 7 අයටද කොහොමද? හරි? But it would be better if you guys get wrong this thing, right? It would be better you look take watch. Okay. Right? So y value is same as this. 13, 9, 5. Here I am not going to teach you how to add or subtract directed numbers, right? Okay, ordered pair. Minus 4, 13, minus 2, comma 9, 0, comma 5. Right? Then 2, comma 1. Then 4, comma 3. So these should be the answers. Now, when you have the tute with you guys, sorry. I will put the channel my group so that later you can subscribe. If you get the tute, if you get the printout of the tute, here you can scan the QR code. So it will redirect to the page, channel. Scan and subscribe the YouTube channel. Right. Okay. Now, I hope you have done this one. Right. When you have the tute with you guys, you can complete the 4th one and 5th one also. But here I I will skip the fourth one. I will do the fifth one as well. Fifth one right in the page number 3, right? There you can see the fifth one. Okay, I am reminding you again, right? If you do not have the printout of the tute, right? It would be better if you can have that. හරිද? ඒක තියනවා නම් ඔයාලට ලේසි වෙයි. ඒක මටත් ලේසි. හරිද? So we can do a lot of more works. හරි? So කවුරු හරි පුතේ ගෙදර ඉන්නවනම් අම්මා හරි අයියා හරි අක්කා හරි කවුරු හරි තාත්තා හරි. So tell them to take a printout. Right? ළඟම කඩේට ගිහිල්ලා හරිද? ළඟම කඩේට ගිහිල්ලා printout එකක් අරන් එන්න කියන්න මේක ටක් ගාලා. හරි? So that it would be very easy. හරි? Right. Okay පුතේ. Fifth one. -2 upon 3x plus 5. So x values are yes, x values are -6, -3, 0, 3, 6. Right. Here you have -6, -3, 0, 3, 6. Right. So I am going to fill the blanks. -2 upon 3 x plus 5. Yeah. So I am going to substitute -6 where I have x. Right? We have to simplify this one. -2 upon 3 multiplied by -3 plus 5. Right? -2 upon 3 multiplied by 0 plus 5. -2 upon 3 multiplied by 3 plus 5. -2 upon 3 multiplied by 6 plus 5. Equal. Right. So here minus into minus positive doesn't matter. Denominator you have 3 times 1. Numerator you have 6, 3 times 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4 plus 5, 9. Right? Here in the denominator you have 3 times 1. Numerator you have 3 times 1. Right? So minus into minus positive. 2 times 1, 2. 2 plus 5, 7. Right? Here 0. So the value is 5. Right? So here 3 times 1, 3 times 1. Here -2. -2 plus 5, 3. Positive 3. Here you have 3 times 1. Here you have 6, 3 times 2. 2 times 2, 4. It is -4. -4 plus 5, positive 1. Right. Now, y equals this thing. So same values you have to write. Right. So now you can write down the ordered pairs. -6, 9, -3, 7, 0, 5, 3, 3, 6, 1. Right? So this is it. Right? I hope you have done it. So, okay. Right, guys. So let's move the page number 4. Right? So you can do the exercise 20.1 at home. Right? Exercise 20.1 at home. Same way you have to follow. Okay, guys. Okay. So let's go for what I was telling you guys is, Now you have y equals 2x something, right? Y equals mx. Very basically y equals mx. Sorry, this is the function of form y equals mx, right? And m equal to 2. This is the form, right? Y equals mx. Here, this y equals 2x is similar, right? Same as y equals mx. This equation is in the form of y equals mx because instead of m, I have used 2, right? Instead of m, I have used 2 as my constant value or the coefficient of x, or in another word, gradient. So what I was telling you is, here you have a whole number, right? If you have a whole number of this form y equals mx form, right? So when you have a whole number for m, right? In the place m, you have a whole number, then you might use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 as your x value range. But it differs when you have a fraction here, right? Instead of m, right? Gradient will be a fraction. Then you might need to choose, right? The values. What are the values for the x, correct? Where you need to be very careful when you are choosing the values for x, correct? So I will tell you guys it later. And this is what we have filled out, correct? This is the table that you need to obtain. -2, -4, -1, -2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. Right? Right. So now I hope you have done this. මේක ටක් ගාලා කරගන්නකො. Right. Right. Okay. So most of you guys have done it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. Mark the following on the graph. Right. So you have to draw a graph for this one. So first of all, I will write the points up. So I have to clear the board. Even the make points, right? So that I am writing the points for my knowledge. Right? You guys no need to write. So you would better start drawing the graph, right? You would better start drawing the graph until I clear this out. Clear you guys better drawing the graph for this. Right? Before drawing the graph, you need to see what are the maximum and minimum values for x-axis, what are the maximum and minimum value for y-axis as well. So you can decide the range of the x-axis and y-axis, right? So up to which point you are going to draw x-axis or y-axis, right? So here x begins from -2, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, right? So I would draw x-axis -3 to +3 range, right? Here minimum value is -2. So the next value is -3. -3 to +3 range, I will draw x-axis. Y-axis -4, -2, 0, 1, 2, 4. So the minimum value and the maximum value -4 and +4. So I would draw the y-axis up to -5 and +5. Hari? -5 and positive. So this is my y-axis. You need to make sure this is y. Yeah. එතන y කියලා ලියන්න ඕන. And this is your x-axis. This is your x-axis. Arrow head is you need to mention it definitely, and x as well. You need to denote that is x-axis, right? Same thing should apply here. So, and the y-axis I will mark up to +5 and -5. Okay. You guys draw it. Draw the thing. Right? -1, -2, -4. X values -2 to +2. So I will draw 1, 2, and 3. -1, -2, -3. Okay. So I am going to mark the point on this Cartesian plane before drawing the graph, right? So the first point is -2, -4. So where is my -2 on the x-axis here? -4 is somewhere around here, method, right? Somewhere around here. -1, -2, -1, -2, somewhere around here. Right? Then 0, 0 here. Right? Then 1, 2. Right? Then 2, 4. Correct? Right. So then now we can join the lines. We can join the lines and draw the graph. Right. Right. So I will then we have to mark, right? Mark the following on the graph. Right? Mark the following on the graph. X-axis, y-axis, right? The suitable value range. So we have done it, and x-axis has been marked. Y-axis also has been marked, right? And mark the right. You have to do it later, and angle which the graph form with the x-axis, right? Write down the function on top of the graph. So the here, what you have to do is, right? I am using my red pen, right, to mark everything that you need to mark when you have drawn a graph, right? ඔයාලා graph එකක් ඇඳහම there are some things to be shown, right? Some things to be shown. So you need to definitely write those on the graph. You need to definitely do this, right? So function of the graph, right? Part on top of the graph, or by mentioning like this, you can name this, right? You have to write the equation of this graph. What is the equation? Y equals 2x. So the person who looks your exam paper knows, this student has drawn this function, right? Has drawn this graph. This graph is related to y equals 2x, right? This graph is related to y equals 2x. Are the right? Right? and I will mark 2 points somewhere around here, right? I will take the point A as this one. So you guys better mark that, right? Point A, this one, right? And point B, this one. And point A, this one, point B, this one. Right? Point A and B. Right. So the another thing that you need to know is, right? What is the angle that this line, what is the angle that this graph line or the straight line is forming with the positive side of the x-axis, positive direction of the x-axis. So I will mark it like this. From the x-axis, I am going to measure the angle somewhere, something like this. So please draw this. So you have to name the angle as well. Right? So these are the most important point that you need to understand. Right? මේවා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕන important point of a graph. So here you have the origin as well. 0. Right? Correct. So I hope you have marked this. So when you consider the graph line that you have drawn, you can see here you have a straight line. So you can conclude, right? The straight, the graph that you have drawn for that function, y equals 2x function, is a straight line, right? Is a straight line, right? And also that straight lines passes through the origin. That straight line passes through the origin, which is 0, 0. Right? Keep that in your mind. First one, this graph is a straight line. Second one, it passes through the 0, 0, which is the origin. That is origin through yana, right? And the straight line which forms the angle forms with the positive direction of the x-axis is this, right? What is this angle? What type of an angle this? What type of angle? So is it obtuse or acute?
Acute
So,
angle.
yeah, so acute angle, right? So this is an acute angle. Right? So you guys need to understand if there are acute angles, there should be definitely obtuse angles as well, right? If there are acute angles, there should be obtuse angles as well. Right. Mark this as well. Acute angle. Right. Okay, now you have to write down the important points on the other page, page number 5. Right. In the page number 5, right? Characteristics of the above graph. Right. Characteristics of the above graph. Let's write them. Right? So the things that we have discussed now, right? So where I can write them with a billion, right? So the first one, the graph is a straight line. The graph is a straight line. Right? Second one, it passes through the origin. It passes through the origin 0, 0. It forms an acute angle with the positive direction of the x-axis counterclockwise. Correct? Right? Right? Now there is another important point. Right? There is another thing, another characteristic that you need to identify. There is another thing. What is that? What is that? The thing is, because I have marked here point A and point B. I have marked point A and point B. Right? So when you get the ratio, of this point, right? Let's consider point A, ratio of y coordinate divided by x coordinate, right? Of this point, y coordinate divided by x coordinate. In your graph, please mark point A is right -2, -4. Right? This is x coordinate. This is y coordinate. Right? X coordinate, y x. Point B, x coordinate is 1, 2. Right? Mark them as well. So if you consider the point A, right? So y coordinate is -4, x coordinate is -2, right? -4 and -2, right? If you get the ratio, if you get the fraction of this, right? Y coordinate divided by x coordinate, there will be a constant value, right? So -4 divided by -2. Can anyone tell me the answer? Right? -4 divided by -2. Chat down. Please put it in the chat. The answer -4 divided by -2. I need the sign as well. I need. Okay. Lesson 2. What is the sign? Yeah. Okay. I hope you are mentioning just 2 as positive 2, right? On the case, right? Yeah. Okay, now I am getting some answers. Yeah, it should be positive 2, right? What is the sign if you divide a minus by minus? Right? Minus divide by minus. Yeah, it should be positive, right? Minus divide by minus. Don't forget that. අර දෙක අමතක කරන්න එපා පුතේ. හරිද? ඔන්න ඔතන තමයි වරදී. මම පොඩ්ඩක් අර කරකෝල ඇහුවා. හරි? ඔයාලා confident නැද්ද කියලා බලන්න. Right? So you guys would be better to stick to your knowledge. Huh? So this should be positive, right? Not minus. Yeah. Now I have received more answers. You should be very careful when you are dealing with the signs, right? That is the point. When you are dealing with the signs, you need to be very careful. Right? පට්ටම වැදගත්. හරි. හරි. Okay. And here y coordinate divided by x coordinate. 2 divided by 1 ne? Again positive 2. Same thing ne? Here also y coordinate divided by x coordinate positive 2. And this point y coordinate divided by x coordinate is giving 2 divided by 1 positive. So that ratio, right, y coordinate divided by x coordinate is a constant value. It won't change. Here also 2, here also 2. Minus 4 divided by minus 2, positive 2. 2 divided by 1, positive 2. Same, right? So that ratio is a constant, right? Okay. So that is another characteristic of y equals mx type of graphs. That is another important characteristics. So let's write down them. So shall I read it? So you guys can write that, right? So when any point on the line, right? When any point on the line, right? When any point on the line, shall I type? Right? Except the origin. When any point on the line except the origin, is considered the value of, right? The value of clearly, right? The value of y coordinate divided by x coordinate. Y coordinate divided by x coordinate. Y coordinate divided by x coordinate of those points is a constant value. Right, but it is on the chat, except that. So you cannot use the origin because it is 0 and 0. So 0 divided by 0 is 0. Right? So no point of getting that. So except the origin, you can take any other point on the straight line. So you will get the same constant value. Minus 4 divided by minus 2, positive. Minus 2 divided by minus 1, positive 2. Positive 2 divided by positive 1, positive 2. Here, positive 4 divided by positive 2, positive 2. All the values that you take on the straight line, right? If you get this ratio is a constant except origin. You cannot take that. 0 divided by 0. Right? No point of taking that. Okay, right. Now, so we are going to calculate that, calculate this part. So let's calculate this ratio for point A and point B, and let's show that value we obtain by gaining y coordinate divided by x coordinate is a constant. Right? Now let's calculate. Let's calculate y coordinate divided by x coordinate for both point A and B. Right? Calculate. So you guys can understand it better. Calculate y coordinate divided by x coordinate for both points. For both points. Right? Let's get this. So for point A. Point A. Right? Y coordinate divided by x coordinate. Point A minus 4 divided by minus 2. Minus divided by minus positive. I am going to simplify the signs first. Minus divided by minus positive. 4 divided by 2, 2. Now point B. Yeah, I will write somewhere around here. Point B. Y coordinate is 2, positive 2. X coordinate is positive 1. So no need to mention positive. 2 divided by 1, right? It is also positive 2, right? So make both are constant value. Same constant value. Right? Please write this. Right guys, I will give you a 5-minute break. මම විනාඩි 5ක වගේ break එකක් දෙන්නම් දැන් after. So we have calculate the point the y coordinate divided by x coordinate ratio for the point A and point B, and we got the same constant value, positive 2, positive 2, right? If you calculate for this y coordinate divided by x coordinate ratio, any point on this line except origin, you will get positive 2, positive 2, positive 2, positive 2 everywhere. You will receive same thing. Now let's write that in a different way. I will share the screen for that, so you guys who do not have the guys who do not have the paper with you, you can see it. So Buddha, it is here. In the page number 5, here you have, right? This value is equal to the coefficient of the people who do not have the cute with you, you can write them, right? In the book, make a lian. This value is equal to the coefficient of which now I have done this earlier. This value is equal to the coefficient of x. Here you should have write x. Here you need to write x. This value is equal to the coefficient of x in the function of y equals mx. Right? Coefficient is m. Right? Which is m, right? In the function y equals mx, which is m. Finally, we can conclude that this constant value we obtained above is called mohad. You already know that, right? You already know I have told you guys it several times. මම පොඩි වාර ගානක් ඒ වචනේ කිව්වා මෙතන. So you guys might be familiar with it, right? Obtained above is called the gradient of the graph, right? This value is called the gradient of the graph. Okay, good. Right? In the middle, you have to write this one as y equals mx. Then I will come back to the board and I will explain what is this. Right? I will come back to the board and I will explain what is this. Right? Y equals mx කියලා ලියා ගන්න at the like middle lah. Right? If you have the tube with you, doesn't matter. You can use the same thing. Right? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I hope you have written all the things down. Right? Okay. Now I will come back to the board. Oh, I do not know. I do not need this. Hi. Right, Buddha. Now, I have told you this name to write down in the middle of the book or something. Y equals mx. Right? So, like previous, you know what are the terms, Neil? You know what are the terms. So, here you have y and here you have x. You know this is your dependent variable. Hurry, pen.
Sir,
Yes.
at what time the class is over?
This is I will do like another 1.5 hours.
Okay.
Right.
Mm,
So, Buddha,
okay, I will.
this is dependent variable. Right? Dependent variable. This is independent variable, and you know that, right? Independent variable. Right? And what is this m? You know that. This is called the coefficient of x, right? Which is a constant value, right? Coefficient of x, which is a constant value, and right? Special name is the gradient, and previously we have written down it, right? Right. Now this gradient comes to the story. Right? Then you know gradient can be a story. Right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes. Right. So now this is y equals mx. So you need to remember this one, gradient. This m is called gradient, very important word. And when you turn the page number 6, you have some important points to be written, right? So these things are very important, right? These things are very important, right? So this gradient can be positive or negative. This gradient can be positive or negative, right? So this can be positive m or negative m, right? So we need to identify few important points when this is positive and when this is negative. When this is positive, when this is negative. Right. So let's write down there, right? The first point, right? Gradient m can be. So I will clear this. Let's write down. Gradient m can be positive or negative, right? Gradient m can be positive or negative, let's write negative constant value. Yeah, negative constant value. Right? Negative constant value. Right. Right. Let's take a look. Right. When m is a positive value. When m is a positive value. When m is a positive value, the straight line, right? The graph line, forms, the graph line forms an acute angle. So you know this. An acute angle with the positive direction of the x-axis. Right? Of the x-axis. Right? So what is this? Right? What is this? So you have m. Now m is a positive value. If m gets a positive value, right? What is the angle that the graph line you draw, right? Form with the positive direction of the x-axis. So in a very short way, you can draw this picture. So this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis and this is your graph line. This is your graph line. And when the m is positive, right? When you have positive m, right? When you have positive m, it forms an acute angle. It forms an acute angle in the positive direction of the x-axis, right? When m is positive, right? So you guys can write down the next one. Sorry. You guys can write down the next one. So please write when m is a positive value, right? Most important thing, right? Most important thing. M is a positive value. The graph line forms an acute angle with the positive direction of the x-axis, right? Second one. When m is a negative value, the opposite thing, when m is a negative value, what happens? You know what could happen? The graph line forms an obtuse angle. Keep these things in your mind. Angle with the positive direction of the x-axis. Right? So the very simply it is this x-axis, y-axis. Right? So Now this is when you have a negative gradient. So this is the graph line, right? When you have negative m, right? The graph line should look like this when you have a negative. When you have a negative gradient, your graph line is like this, right? And it makes an obtuse angle with the positive direction of the x-axis, right? Obtuse angle. Correct? So, Buddha, we can write down the function of this, right? This takes y equals positive mx, right? This is y equals positive mx, right? And the function of this, right? This graph is y equals negative mx, right? Negative mx. Right? Y equals negative mx, y equals positive mx. Keep that in your mind, right? Right. Right. Okay. Now let's see another important point. Right. Now let's see another important point. So the mega y equals negative mx. The previous one is y equals positive mx. Huh? Right. Right. Did you finish right up to here? Please let me know. Put up here.
Yes, sir.
Super. Others, you can send me y, right? You can send me y. Oh, you can send me d for done. Right. Okay. Okay, done. Right. Hurry. Okay, so let's move to the next. Now we are going to find the meaning of something. Hurry. So write down what are the meanings. What are the meanings of, right? When you have the function like this, right? First point. Y equals x, right? The second one is y equals negative x, right? Please write down. When you have y equals x, that is the first thing. When you have y equals negative x, that is the next thing, right? Second one, right? So, okay. Lesson has written down. Okay, super. Right, Buddha? Mege, in this kind of situation, what you have to do is, we are going to identify what the hell is this. Mokadda me kiyanne, right? What the hell is this kila, right? Y equals x. Mokadda eke theru, right? Right. So first of all, what is the value of m? Right? Can anyone tell me? You can put it in the chat. M equals this. M equals this for the first one. What is m of this value? Because these are the functions of y equals mx ne. Meva y equals mx type of functions. What is the value of m here? Okay. Right. Is this positive or negative? Okay. I need the value as super near. Right, Buddha? Alright. Make it here, right? So you need to write down, right? Now look at the word. I am going to explain the first part. Right? I am going to explain the first part. Right. So we can write this in another way. Y equals, right, positive 1 times x, right? Because this is the form of y equals mx. Right? Now you people can understand. This is positive m, positive 1, which is our m. Right? Make y equals positive 1 times x. Right? Positive 1 times. Normally we are not going to write this one now. For our understanding, අපේ දැනුම සඳහා, right, මෙහෙම ලියනවා. හරිද? Positive 1 times x. So I have expanded this. Right? So පුතා, I can write my m equals, or the gradient, or m equals positive 1. M මොකද්ද here? What is that? And what is the definition of that? What is the definition of gradient equals m? Right? M, yes, we know. Right? Equals plus 1. After this point, I am using the gradient as m. Right? If I say m, that is the gradient of the graph. Alright. So this is positive 1. So Buddha, the meaning of this is, right, if you increase the value of x, if you increase the value of x by 1 unit, right? Now substitute x equals 1, 1 into 1, 1. So y equals 1 neither, right? If you increase the value of x by 1 unit, right? That means x equal 1. X equal 1 means 1 times 1. So 1 times 1 means again 1. So that y equals 1. Then the y value is also increasing 1 unit. That is the meaning of this. I will read it again. If you increase the value of x by 1 point, right? If you increase the value of by 1 point, right? Y value is increasing, right, by 1 point as well. By 1 point as well. So let's write now. So in your exams, they might ask, right, this question, right? What is the meaning of m equals positive 2? So that you have to write, if the value of x increase by 1 unit, right, the y value will be increasing by 2 points, right? I mean, whether m equals positive 2, positive 3, if you increase the value of x by 1 unit, y values also increase by 3 units, right? X වැඩි කරපුවාම 1 unit, y value 3 times up and 3 times increase, right? So let's write down. So this is the thing, right? If the value of x is increased, මේවා පොඩි පොඩි point වලට මේවා පුතේ හරි මාර වැදගත්, හරි very important point, right? If the value of x is increased by 1 unit, then the value of y is increased by 1 unit. right? This is the mean. Right? So likewise, you can write down this one as well. Right? Right? What is this? So we can write this y equals -1 into x. Right? I have put dot here with an adding, right? In between -1 and x, I have put a dot. Dot means multiply. Right? -1 into x. So I can write this. So this is in the form of y equals mx. Right? So you know my m is -1, right? So my gradient equals m equals -1. What is the meaning of this? Same thing but different. Same thing but different, right? When you increase the value of x, right? When you increase the value of x by 1 unit, right? By 1 unit, please subtract the x equal 1 here. X equal 1. What is the y value? It becomes y equals -1. Y equals -1. If you increase the x value by 1 unit, what happened to the y value? It decreased by 1 unit. So that is the meaning of the gradient. -1. Right? -1. Right? So let's write. If the value, right? If the value of the x, value of the x is increased by 1 unit. What happened to the y value? Right? X is increased by 1 unit. Substitute x equal 1. Right? So it becomes -1. Y equals -1. Then y value, right? Then the value of y, then the value of y is decreased, right? Is decreased because it is negate, right? Is decreased by 1 unit. If you have here -2, right? This becomes decreased by 2 units, right? If you have -3, if the value of the x is increased by 1 unit, then the value of value of y, value of y is decreased by 3 units. If this is -4, right? X 1 unit, right? Y value decreased by 4 units. So on and so forth. You can identify them. Right? So please write this. When you finish writing, let me know. You can send me D folder. Right, Danidhi has done. Right. So now let's go for compare the. Let's go for comparing the gradient. Sorry, these types of questions can be inside your short question paper. Right, short question paper again, you might find something like this. They might ask from you. Okay, most of you guys have done. Others can write until I draw the picture. Right now, guys, we are going to compare the magnitude of the gradient. Sorry, the next thing. Compare the magnitude of the gradients. Please write this for gradients m1, m2, m3, m4, m5, m6, right? And draw this picture as well. Here you have gradients of the gradients. Methana sometimes like the illuminate right? Right. So I am going to draw some kind of a picture like this, right? This is a graph. This is x-axis and this is y-axis, and this is x, this is y, and I have some graphs like this. And there are graph lines like this. Right? And I will say the gradient of this line is m1. Gradient of this line is m1. Gradient of this line is m2. Gradient of this line is m3. Right? From here to here, here to here, from here to here. All of those are acute angles. All of those are acute angles. Right? Please draw this one with me. Draw. Take away one. Right. And I will say the gradient of this line m4, gradient of this line m5 and m6. Obtuse angle, obtuse angle, obtuse angle. Right. Now we are going to compare we are going to compare m1, m2, m3. Next we are going to compare m4, m5, m6. Right? Right. So hope you have finished right. Right, Pradeep. So let's compare the values. Right. Now, when you are going from here to here, right? When you are going from here to here, right? What can be happen to the M1, M2, and M3, right? So the angle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Eh? The angle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? And to this side also, the angle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But it is in the negative side. It is in the negative side. Right? So, Buddha, when you compare the M1, M2, M3, right? The smallest one is this. The gradient, small gradient, you have this one, right? Small gradient, right? So, M1 greater than M2, right? So, the other way around. M1 is the smallest one. M2 is the next bigger one. Then the biggest one is M3, right? Your gradient is increasing, increasing, increase. Right? And M4, M5, M6, what can you say? What can you say about the M4, M5, M6? Right, same thing, huh? Same thing means when you consider the values, right? So we are going to measure it in this side, but these values are getting reduced, right? So because the angle gets bigger, right? Because the angle gets bigger, right? Right? So you know what happens to the negative value, huh? When the angle gets bigger, right? And the negative values become bigger and bigger, what happens? Right? Can a negative value, the magnitude of the negative value is increased, right? What happened to the value then? What the ending? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me? That message here. What happened to the value? Right? So when it goes to this side, right? The value is getting bigger and bigger. Right? The value is getting bigger and bigger, right? So for an example, if I say this is -4, this would like -2, this would like -1. Right? So how do you compare the negative values? Negative values compare karanne kohomada? Right? So now let's think like this. -4, -2, -1. Right? Is -4 bigger than -2? Can anyone say? Is -4 bigger than -2?
No.
No. Super. Right? Then, right? Is -2 bigger than -1? Is -2 bigger than -1? No. Right? Okay. Now, Buddha, right? When this angle going to bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So here, this is -4, this is -2, and this is -1. For an example, right? So we are taking the gradient for this side. We are calculating the gradient in this side with the positive direction of the x-axis. So the angle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? The size is increasing. Right? So now M4 right? M4 value is greater than M5 and greater than M6, right? Right? So this is something like the thing that I have explained you earlier. Right? So this is something like this is -3, right? And this is -1. This is -1/3. Right? So when you are comparing the negative value on the number line, it goes to the other way around. But here it goes to the other way around, right? So these are positive. These are in the opposite sides. These are in the opposite sides, right? So when the angle, right, with the x-axis getting increase, right? So your gradient will become bigger and bigger. So that is the way that you are going to compare. If we compare all the values together, right? If we compare all the values together, right? I can write M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6. That's bigger and bigger because the angle size is getting bigger and bigger, right? So you can compare it with the angle. Okay? So this side. Biggest angle is M6. So the biggest gradient is M6, right? Right. So keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind, right? Forget all the things. Forget. Compare the angle. M1. M2. M2 is the biggest. M3. M3 is the biggest now. M4. The angle is bigger. All the when it compares to M2, M3, M1, right? M4 is bigger angle. So M4 is the biggest gradient. Now M5. Then M when it compares to M5 and M4, the biggest angle is M5. So that is the biggest gradient. When we add the M6, that has the biggest gradient, right? When we compare the angle with all the other things, we have the greatest angle. We have the biggest angle for M6. So the gradient is biggest of M6. Right. Hope you have finished writing this. Now, let's go for the next part. Compare the max. What we are going to do is, yes, write the gradient of graphs, right? Write the gradient of graphs, right? Write the gradient of graphs without drawing. without drawing the graphs. Without drawing the graphs. Let's do some examples. Hi. So how do we do this? Right? So this is the first example. Right? I have y equals 3x. Right? Y equals 3x. By looking at this, right? By looking at this at once, you can say what is the gradient of this graph, because this is in the form of y equals mx. Right? So let's see. So our form is y equals mx. Right? Our form is y equals okay. So this is perfectly matched. Right? Here you have y, here you have m, here you have x. Right? Perfectly matched. So that you can write down the gradient by looking at this at once. Right? So the m is equal to positive 3. Right? So this should be your answer. Second one, I will say y equals negative 5x. Y equals negative 5x. First of all, you need to check whether is this in y equals mx form. Positive mx or negative mx. Right? Now I am going to check this. Okay, y is here. Constant value is here, negative 5 years. X is here. Okay, super. Perfectly matched. So that I can write the gradient m equals to minus 5. Right? Third one. Right? Y minus 8x equals 0. Can anyone send me the answer? What is m? Can anyone send me the answer? What is m? Tankalayon. I want to see who finishes first. So Buddha, you have to check your answer. Lesson 2. I'm not going to case එකයි මම කිව්වේ. What about others? Sandhanu, you have to check the answer. Is it in y equals mx form? You have to check it first. It would be better if you can send a full answer. Right. Okay. So let's do. So this is not in the y equals mx form. Y equals mx form. This is the y equals mx form. But this is in another form. This is not in the y equals mx form. So that we have to arrange it. So that we have to arrange that in y equals mx form. So if I take this term 8 to this side, so then I can obtain y equals mx form. Right? So this is negative 8x. When I take this to this side, it automatically becomes positive 8. Positive 8x. Now this is in y equals mx form. So that I can write m equals positive 8. Right? Fourth example. Right. Please send me the answer for M of this fourth example. Please send me the answer for M. I want to see who finishes first correctly. Let us go on. In the fourth example, I need to see what is the answer for M. Satika is saying no. Satika, you have to check. Sadhanu, is there a 6? Hayak tiyana where? Banuka is saying 7. Okay. Dandu is saying 7. Okay, positive 7. Super. Ritik is saying yeah. So you have to arrange it in y equals mx form. Huh? Not y, but m. Okay, right. So I will discuss. So Kavisha, you need to mention that is positive or negative. Huh? Otherwise, you will get wrong. Right? Okay. Okay, ගැල්ලම එක්කෙනෙක් අතේ නැහැ උත්තර. එක්කෙනෙක් එක්කනේ. හරි උදේ. හරි. So let's discuss. By looking at this, here you have negative y. Neither. Here you have negative y anyway. Negative y equals negative 7x. So this is not in the form of y equals mx. Right? Y equals mx. Y. In front of y there cannot be any negative signs. Only positive one. How do you make this positive? You have to divide this side and this side by negative 1 in order to remove negative sign, right? So this is negative y equals negative 7x, right? I am going to divide this side by negative 1 and this side by negative 1, right? Negative to negative positive, negative to negative positive, right? Y equals 7x. This is in the form of y equals mx, right? So that m equals positive 7. හරිද? ඒකයි මම කොහොම එකක් දුන්නේ. මම දන්නවා ලොයිත් වරද්ද ගන්නවා කියලා, right? අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයාලා මෙතන අර ගන්නවාම තමයි. You guys messed up this point. හරිද? Now the interesting part is beginning නා. දැන් තමයි theory part එක කොට ටිකක් ඉවර වෙලා හරි. There is another theory part. හරි. මම වැඩි theory ගන්න කැමති නෑ, but I need to do, right? මම කැමති ගොඩක් ගණන් හදලා ඔලුවට දාන්න, right? But you should do this one. හරිද? Okay, buddy. Now, next one. Send me M. Send me M. Do it fast. Right? What is the value of M? So you know how to make Y as the subject, right? In the formula lesson, right? අපි නම් ඒක superior ම කරා. හරි? You know how to make Y as the subject of a given formula. This is a formula and you need to make sure that Y is the subject. මේක දැකපු ගමන් දඩස් ගාලා කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Right? It is something like right? The finding the value of y, right? Send me the answer. Why you are taking so much time? Oh, Yemith is saying 2 upon 3, right? Super. Yeah, it should be positive, huh? It should be positive. Harivadi, right? You are taking much time. Yes, Satika. Satika's answer is also correct. It does not include x pute, Harid. Satika. It does not include x. Right? So now I will discuss. So here you have 2 upon 3. Ne? You need to remove this 2 and 3. Right? I will tell you a easy way to do this one, but I will do it in by using the theoretical way. I will do this first. So here you have 2 upon 3 y equals 4 upon 9 x. First of all, I am going to remove this 3. Right? It is in the form of division. So I need to remove and I am going to multiply both sides by 3. 3 times 1, 3 times 1. So you will have 2y equals, and here also 3 times 1, 3 times 3. 4 upon 3 x. Now I am going to remove 2. So that I need to divide this side by 2, and I am going to divide this side by 2 as well. Divide na in the denominator. Divide na in the denominator. Right? 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 2 times 2. Right? So that I can write this as, right? Y equals 2 upon 3x. Very easy. This is in the y equals mx form. So m is equal to positive 2 upon 3. So the easiest way is, make a solution, easiest way is, right? මෙච්චර කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, දගලන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. You need to make the subject as y. You need to make the subject as y. Neither. Right? Here you have 2 and 3 in the numerator and the denominator. Right? Numerator goes to the denominator of this side. Denominator goes to the numerator of this side. Done. Right? Mean y equals 4 upon 9 x. Right? 3 goes to the numerator of the other side. 2 goes to the denominator of the other side. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 1, 3 times 3. Right? So then you will get y equals 2 upon 2. Same marks. Right? Yeah, what it tips. Okay. Numerator goes to the denominator of the other side. Denominator goes to the numerator of the other side. Okay. Just exchange. Done. Don't waste your time. Okay. This is done. If you want, you can write this. If you want, so very basically, what you have to do the cross multiplication thing. What you have to do is this to this side, this to this side. Okay. Guys, do you need a break again? I'm going to discuss this one and this one. So I hope you got the answers, right? But I'm not going to ask. Right? Right. So this is not in y equals mx form, so that I need to build it to the y equals mx form, right? So this total term should go to this side, and this is negative, right? So in my left hand side, I have minus 2y, and when this total term goes to this side, it becomes positive. 4 divided by 3x. Right? Now here you have minus 2, right? I need to remove minus 2 term. So I am going to divide this side by minus 2 and this side by minus 2. Right? Minus 2 minus positive, 2 times 1, 2 times 1. Right? Here you have, here this term is positively, positive divided by minus, minus, right? Or positive divided by negative, negative. 2 times 1, 2 times 2. So 2 upon 3 x. Right? So y equals this. So this is in y equals mx form, right? So m equals negative 2 upon 3. Right? Negative 2 upon 3. Right. So the mega here, same thing like that. You have to make the subject as y. Make the subject as y. Take this term to this side. This is positive. When it goes to the other side, it becomes automatically negative. 5 upon 3 times y equals, when it goes to this side, 10 upon 6 x. Right? Here you have in the numerator 5, denominator 3. You can write this y equals negative 10 upon 6 times x. Right? This goes to the numerator, 5 goes to the denominator, 3 goes to the numerator, 5 goes to the denominator. Right? 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 2 times 1, 2 times 1. Y equals negative x. This is in y equals mx form. M equals negative 1. So guys, I think you got the answers. Right, Puti? So now we are going to do another special thing. We are going to do another special thing. Huh? Right? We are going to do another special thing. This one, the Megadu. Right. Okay. Sandhakalam is asking. Megadu, did you understand this? Kiano Isalam Okomuda, did you understand this sixth one? Right. I will explain this again. Right. You can send me yes if you understand. Right. You can. Did you get this one? Megadu, seventh one. Seventh one එක තේරුම් නැහැ. හරි. So guys, I will do both again. I'm not going to put the record down. මේ tip එක මතක තියාගන්න. හරි. I am going to tell you again, right? Denominator goes to the numerator of the other side of the equal mark. The numerator number goes to the denominator number goes to the numerator of the other hand side of the equal mark, right? Always opposite thing happen. Positive things when it goes to this side, negative. Negative things on this side, when it goes to this side, it becomes positive. Keep that in your mind, right? Very simple things. Alright, okay, please. So let's go to the next part. This one is also very important. Right? they might ask in your exam for essay question or short question. Essay questions or short questions they might ask. Right there. Write down. Right. So write yes. Show the below mentioned points. Right. Show the below mentioned point. The subtitle. Show the below mentioned points. So the below mentioned points lie on the given function or not. Lie on the given function or not. Hari. Hari. Putih, please write this down. मैं लिया है. Hari. Okay. Oh yes, right. Now there is an important point tip as well. මේකේ තියෙන important point that you need to remember. Actually no need to remember. Just take it as it is. හරිද? ඒක ඒ විදිහට ගන්න. හරිද? Right. Now they are giving you a function. Hari. Now they are giving you a function and a specific point. Right? They are giving you a function and a specific point, and they are asking you to show. They are asking you to show the below mentioned point lies on the function or not. Specific question. Important question. Lies on the given function or not. So you have to check it out. Right? So there are few steps to follow, right? So Uda, first of all, you have the function, right? Y equals mx or whatever, right? You need to make sure that you have y equals plus or minus mx equals 0, right? It is okay. I will teach you it to the best. So first point that you need to write is, right? Under this, write down important point. Important points or important tips, whatever. Come on. Important points. So first one, right? First one that you need to do is whatever the function given, whatever the function given, you need to make sure, right, that we have y plus or minus mx, right? So write down convert the given function. Convert the given function, right? Convert the whatever the given function, whatever the given function into y plus or minus mx, right? So ඒ මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ, right? මෙහෙම ලියන්න නැතුව මම මේක දෙකට කඩලා ලියන්නද? Shall I separate it, right? So this can be, what meaning of this is උදා මෙහෙම, right? මේ කමන්න මෙහෙම ලියා, right? Y equals, sorry, y plus mx equals 0, right? or else this can be y minus mx equals 0, right? May plus or minus mx, right? Plus or minus mx. And plus or minus mx. What is the meaning of this? Y plus or minus mx is this. It can be this one, it can be this one, right? One of these two, right? So mega convert the given function into y plus or minus mx equals 0 form, right? 0 form, right? Maybe here convert karanda, right? Then substitute the given x and y, right? So then you have to substitute make a lipat therein passe tama therein, right? Substitute the given x and y coordinates of the point on the left hand side, LHS, left hand side of above function. Above function. Make a passe above function. On this function, this is the left hand side. This is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. Then final point. Then show LHS equals RHS equals 0, right? Then show LHS equals, right, RHS, right? RHS means right hand side or this equal to 0, right? LHS equals 0, then that those points lies on the particular line, right? Particular function. Right? So these are the 3 steps that you need to do with it. Right. So let's do some examples. Let's do some examples. Then this is nothing, huh? Right? Okay, example number 1. Example number 1. Y equals 2x, right? Function is y equals 2x. Function is y equals 2x. Right? And the given point is 1, 2. So they are saying you need to show this point lies on this or not, right? You need to show that this given point lies on this function or not. This given point lies on this function or not, right? So first of all, first thing, convert the given function into y plus or minus mx. Convert the given function into y plus or minus mx equals 0. So what is this? This is in the form of y equals mx, not in this form. Make an image, right? This function is not like this. This function equals y equals mx, but we have to convert this function into this, right? So how do we do that? So in the right hand side we should have 0. In the left hand side we should have y and x, y and mx. Correct? So Uda, I am going to take this 2x to my left hand side. Correct? So that y equals given So y equals 2x. So if I want to take this 2x to my left hand side, at once I can do this. මට මේක එකපාර කරන්න පුළුවන් because this is positive 2x and when it goes to this side, it becomes minus 2x automatically, right? If you use the theoretical way, right, you need to subtract 2x from both sides here. Here. You need to subtract 2x from both sides, right? So cancel out, that means 0. So y equals, sorry, y minus 2x. Right? So Buddha, now this is done. First step is done. Right? Now your LHS is this. This is your LHS. Right? This is your left hand side. So take left hand side. You need to show LHS equal to 0 or not. Right? If that becomes 0, this point lies on the function. Right? Right. So the method, your LHS equals y minus 2x. Y minus 2x. Right? So substitute the given x and y coordinates of the point, right, on the left hand side of above function. On the left hand side of above function. So left hand side of the function is y minus 2x. This. I am going to substitute, right, this x and y coordinate on this. Right? Make it. I am going to substitute these two values on this. Instead of y, I have to substitute 2. Instead of x, I have to substitute 1. Right? Instead of y, I have to substitute 2. Instead of x, I have to substitute 1. 2 times 1. Right? So, shall I write it? Yes, substitute so that you can understand. Substitute 1, 2 on LHS. Right? On LHS. So, LHS, right? Here y coordinate is 2. Instead of y, I am substituting 2 minus 2 times. Instead of x, I am substituting 1. Right? I am substituting 1. Right? So, Buddha, here you have 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2, cancel out, 0. So, we can write, since LHS becomes 0, right? This point lies on the function, given function, right? Since LHS equals 0, right? So, we are going to say this. The function is satisfied. Since LHS equals 0, right? The given function is satisfied. We can say the given function is satisfied. Satisfied. Therefore, the point 1, 2 lies on the function. මේ part එක කරලා අද නවත්තනවා, right? So let's do the next part in next week, right? So I will let you know the date, right? But I will do another 1 or 2 examples for this one, right? මේක ලියාගමු. You need to practice this. මේක හොඳට practice කරන්න ඕනේ. Alright, did you finish writing this? Okay, done. Alright. If this left hand side does not equal to 0, so that we can conclude the point does not lie on the function, right? If LHS is equal to 0, we can say the point lies on the function, right? If does not equal to 0, right, the point does not lie on the function, right? So okay, second example, right? I will clear this part now. Right. Example number 2. Right. 3y equals 2x. And the given point is 2, comma minus 3. Okay, please do this. Try, give it a try. I'm gonna try a thing. So you are going to show this point. You are going to show this point lies on this function, right? You are going to show this point. This y equals mx function into y plus or minus mx equals 0, right? So you need to convert this function into this form. In the way form, convert the first point. Are there? Right. So I am going to do that. Y equals, here you have positive 2x. If you want to remove positive 2x from your right hand side, right, I am going to negate from 2x from both sides. Cancel out, right? In my right hand side, I should have right, 0. In my right hand side, I should have 0, right? So then this becomes y minus 2x equals 0, right? So perfectly match me. Left hand side my function, right hand side 0. Left hand side my function, right? Left hand side my function, right hand side I have 0. Correct? So I can write my left hand side equals y minus 2x, right? I can write my left hand side y minus 2x. Then in the second point I gave you, for this LHS, left hand side of the function, you need to substitute this point x comma y point, right? X on the x term, right? Y coordinate on the y term. So you are going to substitute, right? I will write it. Substitute 1, 2 on LHS. LHS means y minus 2x. So I am going to substitute, right? LHS left hand side equals, instead of y, I am going to put this 2, right? Minus, instead of x, I am going to substitute 1. 2 times 1. So now I am going to simplify this. Here you have 2. Here you have 2 times 1, 2. Make interesting. Positive 2, negative 2. So cancel out. Cancel out. So the value is 0. So LHS becomes 0. Nice. What do you have in the third point? Right? If LHS becomes 0, RHS becomes 0, right? So we can conclude, right? This point lies on the given function, or given function is satisfied by the point. Since LHS equals 0, the given function the given function is satisfied. Therefore, the point 1, 2 lies on the given function. Lies on the given function. Right? I am not going to write all things. I do not have enough space. Lies on the given function. So this is the thing. Around it. Right. So I will do this one by using the same way. Right. So now try to make sure you have the correct steps. Right. So I need to convert this given function into y plus or minus mx equals 0. My right hand should be 0, RHS should be 0, LHS should be this. So this is not in this form, so that I need to convert, right? This is positive 2x. Directly I am going to take into this side, right? Dy, this positive 2x, when it comes to the left hand side, it automatically turns to minus 2x, and in this side, right hand side, right, nothing to be left, 0. So now this is in this form, y minus mx equals 0 form, y minus mx equals 0 form, right? So this is my LHS, right? So this is my LHS, right? So I can write LHS equals 3y minus 2x, this one, right hand side this, right? LHS RHS. So I am going to substitute my given point. Substitute my given point is 2 comma minus 3 on LHS. I'm going to substitute. So my LHS is this. So this is my x coordinate, this is my y coordinate, right? Instead of x, I am going to substitute 2. Instead of y, I am going to substitute minus 3, right? So 3 times, here you have y means minus 3. Here you have minus, and then you have minus 2 times x. Instead of x, I am going to substitute positive 2, right? So here, positive into negative 3 times 3, 9, right? So here minus 2 times 2, 4. So this will give you negative 9, negative 4, negative 30, right? So that was a LHS does not equal to 0, right? LHS does not equal to 0, so that we can conclude that the given point does not lie on the given function. The given point does not lie on the given function. So we have to write since LHS does not equal to 0, the given function is not satisfied. Then you can conclude, right? The final answer. Therefore, Therefore, the point 2 comma minus 3 does not lies on the given function. Right? So that's all. Chalo. So if LHS becomes 0, it does lies on the function. If LHS does not equal to 0, the point does not lies on the function. Yes, Sandegal, it is easy, right? So the thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you have the correct way, right? Y plus or minus mx equals 0, and you need to do the substitution with the 100% accuracy, and you need to make sure, right, that you have the correct simplification, right? Then this is nothing. Right, Mudit. So now it is already right 7:30 11:30, right? සින්දුත් දැවුවනේ විනාඩි 15ක් විතර. හරි. හරි. මේ So Buddha, I'm going to stop the session from here today, right?